Welcome back.
Alright, so we are here with this is the 6th album, correct? Yeah, this is number 6.
And also the first new album since I've been listening to them. This is the first one that I got hyped for, since In Waves was already out at the time.
So the hype up to this one, this was where they began the ominous lead-ups to albums. So with this one, what made this one so hyped was if you called a certain number, like they would actually call you, and it's called transmission. You would receive the transmission, which is basically like a last recording before someone dies. Like that's literally what it sounded like. And basically it says the lyrics of the title track. You broke me down, a shattered crown.
Pulled me close, but I survived.
Yeah, pulled me close, but I survived. This attack turned life black. So I built this flame to burn you back. Like that was what you would get like on a phone call. So it was like crazy because I hadn't seen a band do anything like that before. So for me, the hype leading up to this album, I was like, wow, this is crazy. I've never seen a band put so much effort into lead up to the album. So coming into this album, I was very, very hyped. And then it showed a bit of Brave This Storm, which is the first track and what we're going to get into now.
Yeah, so Brave the Storm, the first new Trivium song I ever heard. Man. Okay, well, let's get this out of the way. The album overall, I think it definitely turned a lot of fans off just because it's
produced by David Draymond, the singer of Disturbed.
Yeah, and you can tell he had a lot of influence. On the documentary, I think they said that the No Way to Heal was like the only song they wrote without Draymond there. So he had a lot of influence on the rest of the songs, and it definitely shows. But yeah, Brave the Storm, it's a pretty simple song. I mean, the riffs, it's just kind of like chugging ease. To be honest, I don't really revisit this album too much. You can see like a little bit of shift happening in the band.
Here's the one thing I'll say that I appreciate of this album. It was a focus on the singing.
Yeah, the lyrics are definitely the high point.
That's one thing that was focused on, not just the lyrics, but also the vocal capacity of Matt was expanded with this song.
Yeah, I think
this song, but this album.
Yeah, this is where he like was really starting to hone in on his like clean vocals, which I think he really got in the next one. But for now,
let's move on to the title track, number 2, Vengeance Falls. I love Vengeance Falls. That song is like one of the few songs in the album that I actually go back and listen to. Vengeance Falls was very well written. Obviously, he wanted to be a little bit more specific when writing this song, because this whole album was inspired by the band getting assaulted and basically the whole idea of like he wanting to get revenge. It was very honest, but obviously, to appeal to a certain crowd, David Draymond suggested that it's less specific. But I do like this song because the lyrics talk about redemption, and not just vengeance, but redemption, and essentially coming back from near collapse, like a low point.
Yeah, I definitely love the lyrics. I remember, if I remember, it's Fidel Niddle, that video Over My Dead Body, when I was sitting in the chair, and I was like kind of going crazy. I was saying the lyrics to this song, just because I thought they were so cool.
If you look at the artwork, it's essentially like Trivium ships landing. And that's what you feel like. When you hear that song, you feel the artwork. Like, you can tell, like, you can see that in a scene.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of the artwork, if anyone's seen Thor the Dark World, you remember that scene where, like, the ships come down?
Yeah.
And they look just like the T in this.
Yeah, I remember
and that's like, right when this album came out, too. They came out in 2013, and that's all I thought of was like, oh my god, it's just like Vengeance Falls.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, it's just really cool because like it's like they're invading.
Yeah.
Like, Trivium just has such goddamn cool artwork. It's ridiculous.
All right, so next song, Strife. Strife has it's a very catchy song. It's one of those few songs that if I do listen to this album is one that I'll take a listen to. But yeah, it begins like with a guitar harmony. It starts off with that and then builds up with the drums coming in, just like a traditional Trivium song would. Nothing super crazy. The lyrics aren't really anything I was fond of.
Well, lyrics, again, he said that this was another song by Anxiety, just like Suffocating Sight was. Overall, just really good lyrics still. I know that's like the live staple. Strife is probably the only song they still play off this album.
No Way to Heal is the next one. It's number 4. It was some cool guitar parts, but that's kind of about it for me for this one.
I was going to say this is probably my favorite of the album. I don't know, you can tell it's different from the other songs. It just goes a lot more crazy, and it's not as simplistic of riffs. Like you just said, the guitars are amazing, and like for a musician, I think it's really just like, holy shit, that's awesome.
That's fair. But yeah, that shows. Obviously, Trivium's a good band. Like, there's really no album that you might not like, but from a talent standpoint, they're all really good.
Yeah.
It's just some themes aren't as well received as others, and this is one of those, which leads to Believe, the next song. Not too crazy about that one either. To Believe is just another song that feels like a follow-on to No Way to Heal.
But at the end of this war, that's a really nice acoustic intro.
Yeah, it's a little different.
He just was getting really good at singing. Like this, there's barely any screams on this one. It's kind of like The Crusade.
Yeah, he's just getting more comfortable, you could tell, with clean singing.
Yeah.
Through Blood and Dirt and Bone.
I think,
that one's a cool one. I like that one.
Is this the one with the bass solo, or is that Incineration?
I think that's Incineration.
One of them has the bass solo in it, and shout out Paulo.
Yeah, that one has a cool intro.
Yeah, that's the one that has like screaming still on it.
Yeah,
that's a pretty decent track.
Next is number 8, Villainy Thrives. I like that one from a lyric standpoint. I like how he says that basically at the end of the day, it's almost as if a bad person always wins, because think of it this way: if you hurt a bad person, aren't you bad for doing the same thing that they're doing to others? So therefore, villainy thrives. That was my interpretation of that, because the nice person will always be stepped on. But if you kill the person that kills, aren't you a villain too? So that's the idea that I got from that album, that villainy thrives because if you take vengeance on somebody who hurts you, you are not a good guy. The good guy doesn't do anything. The good guy is a step on.
Innocence dies while villainy thrives.
Exactly. That's part of the lyrics that really brought that message to me. Yeah. All right. Next is the 9th track, Incineration, The Broken World. I like that one because it feels that one feels like hopelessness. That's the feeling I get from that one.
Honestly, I better remember this song.
The last one, man, like I feel like they missed the mark on this one. This one could have been so good. Wake, the End is Nigh. Like, I just hate that they turned it into screams. It started out so good. Like, I've never heard Matt sing so low ever before.
Yeah, that's like the lowest note I think he's ever hit.
And so I was like, man, you should have kept going with that. Like, why didn't you just stay? Maybe a little build-up, but not directly into screams. Like, it just didn't sit right with me.
I view it as like two separate songs. Wake is the clean part, and The End is Nigh is the second.
Yeah, that's why it should have been two separate songs altogether. It just they don't mix well.
I just know that was going to be the title of the album, I think, originally.
Really?
Yeah. And then I think Draydman suggested Vengeance Falls. I really like it. I think the clean I really like the heavy part. I don't know. I think it just suits better to me.
I think it missed the mark on what it could have been.
So overall, I mean,
it wasn't great. It wasn't the best one. It wasn't bad.
There's definitely some highlights, but yeah, overall,
not the worst album.
Especially following In Waves,
it wasn't good compared to In Waves.
Yeah,
that's all. All right, so that does it for this one. Join us for the next one.
Take care.